Welcome, triathlon fans. Ryan here at triathlon.com. We're talking 70.3 Michigan. Once again, we are approaching Go Day, September 12th, 2021, for the inaugural event. Everything's looking to go so far, so we are going to extend our talks. We've talked about the swim, the bike, the run, the athlete guide, the weather, plenty of other things, and now we're going to talk about what should your spectators be doing, where should they be going during the race to probably get the maximum benefit of running around trying to catch you as you're going around the race or supporting you or whatever they got to do. So what I'm going to do is we're going to look over the map, and from my perspective of doing 8 full Ironman races and 14 half Ironman races, kind of what's the best bang for the buck as far as your spectators go and where they're going to get the most action and see the most action out of the day, so they're not completely bored out of their minds or they never want to go watch you do another race. I want to make sure they have a good time because that is key and important. I will say there's a few things up front. Make sure your spectator, if they want you to acknowledge them, they probably need to wear something that's unique so that you can find them. So neon colors always helps. Maybe even a helium balloon tied to their backpack or shirt or something like that. It's always tough as an athlete when you're running around and you're exhausted, you're anxious, you're in a hurry, you're trying to get the race done, and all this other stuff going through your mind, to slow down and look for people because you got your race bibs. Usually in the past, your name would be on there. Right now, it's just your race number, so people will be hollering your name. Good job, Ryan. And you're like, I don't know you. Who are you? So make sure that your spectators, you can find them in the crowd because they may be able to find you and they yell at you, but there's so much going on, you're going to totally miss them, whatever. So you don't want misunderstandings that you ignored people or whatever. So make sure that they are identifiable. You know, a yellow neon green cap, or like I said, a balloon, helium balloon tied to their backpack, so when they're walking around, they can find them and stuff like that. So just make sure that your spectators are viewable so you can see them, of course. So what I like to do is go to the course maps, and the key is to see, this event is a one transition area, but the finish line is away from transition. Not all events are like that. There's multiple transitions. There's two transitions and a start point and an end point. They're all different places. So we just got to make sure that everybody knows where everybody is going to be at during the day. I highly recommend your spectators have the course maps and they got their Google phone, and you've gone through, like I'm going to show you some Google, they've marked, they've saved some of these places so they can just hit their phone and be like, all right, I want to walk over here, show me the fastest route, how long is it going to take me? Make sure they download the Ironman app so they can track you various points along the course. So looking at the swim, looks like we're starting from open space park. Here's transition for T1. Here's transition for T2. It's all in the same area, so that is going to be convenient that it is all going to be in open space park, which if you look there, it's not just a clever play. It is very open space. So this place is going to be a big old transition area. So this is where it's going to be at. Now, I would definitely not count on your spectators having this nice, easy access for parking. They might park athletes here. More than likely, that's where they're going to park a lot of the Ironman staff, a lot of the other stuff. Probably VIP parking. So if you want to pay like $260 for VIP parking, you can park there or whatever. But I think what's going to be happening is, and check the event guide. I didn't specifically look for parking, but there's probably going to be various points that they're going to suggest parking, either walking. Notice there's this track up here, a school, a church. Might be kind of tough, especially on Sundays. Parking in church parking lots might be the smartest idea. So just make sure you read through the athlete guide to find the best parking solutions. This is probably going to be the most available area, and then in the past, for open fields, they've parked people in open fields and stuff like that. So just make sure you read through the athlete guide and check out where you need to be parking, because that is going to be key, and it could change on race day because they have changed the swim. It was kind of out in the more in the lake area with the man-made kind of harbor area, but they moved into Betsy Bay. So just make sure you're aware, but the transition is one spot. So looking at this, I would suggest that your spectators, specifically for this race, that they kind of hang out around the swim start, the swim exit, transition. That's where they're going to see you the most, especially during the swim. There's probably a nice viewable area. You can go along here. It looks like they got some nice little pads. If you're not from the area, then, it looks like you can stand around the parking lots. This is Bessie Valley Trailway. It looks like there's going to be plenty of opportunities for spectators to kind of be hanging out and be able to see the whole action of the swim, because they're going to start a transition, and it's just it's a nice triangle. It's a nice 2-turn swim, as easy peasy as could be. So we're looking in between 9th Street and 10th Street. So if we can find those real quick on the map and follow along with me, hopefully I don't spend too much time. This looks like 9th Street and 10th Street. So looks like everything's going to be looks like actually they're going to be pavement for the transition, which is very nice, especially if it rains or anything like that the night before. So transition will be here. Spectators won't be allowed in transition, but you kind of probably can meander around and hang out outside of transition. They may have parking here in this field. Again, the athlete guide to find out where your spectators and where you can park. Sometimes they give out parking stickers, so only athletes, but if your spectators come with you, they can go in the car. So it's just by carload. Sometimes they'll give you a special parking permit for just one car because they're just limited on space. So make sure you read through that. So this right here is where the swim start and swim exit. It's going to be in this little area. It's between, if you look at the map, it's between 9th and 10th Street. This is where all the action is going to be at. So your spectators, just set up shop right here. Bring your lawn chairs or whatever. Bring your folding chairs. Set them up. You can watch them start. You can watch the end. People come out and transition. And then you can watch them out in the bike course. So it's kind of tough. People kind of want to go out and see their athletes on a bike course. When it's 56 miles, 3.5 hours out there on the longer end for 3.5 hours, you're going to kind of have to weigh when you go out here how easy it is to get to your car and get out. You also have to avoid driving on through the bike course because more likely traffic is not going to be going back and forth. There's going to be opportunity. You could probably drive all the way out here and be maybe around the aid station to watch your athletes come by. But when they come back by, I doubt you're going to have enough time to get up there and see them come out of transition. So my recommendations, maybe if you got multiple cars and somebody can pick somebody up and drop them off and parking's not a big deal, maybe you could do that. But I think the biggest, like I said, the bang for your buck is going to be camped out in transition and seeing your athletes coming and going, coming in for T2, and then starting off on the run. Because I think the run, you're going to be right there in transition. You're going to see them go out and then come back. And this is the turnaround. So you're going to see them start and then come back. They come out here and they do a turnaround. You're going to see them then, and they head out back here. So that point in time, when you see this at the turnaround, you can start walking, because notice the finish line is a little bit of a hike. Going from you're out to 2nd Street, so a little bit of a hike. You got the Storm Cloud Brewing Company, so maybe if we do directions, start point, and then we can do this. So if you look at this, if you're doing walking, it's about 11 minutes, so less, about a mile. So figure, 15, 20 minutes or something like that. So if you see your athlete to turn around and they're coming out and coming back, if you stay here until they pass you to head to the finish line, you're probably going to miss them. But do notice, okay, so want to make sure that we got this. Looks like we do have a U-turn out here. So you could see them here when they come by and then wave at them. So let's make sure, let's read the turn radius directions. U-turn, circle. So this is an interesting little course. So you come into transition, you head out, you do the run course, do the run, come back out. It looks like you do a U-turn and then come back out, this is interesting. This little begin second loop. But you've got a U-turn on here. Interesting. So we got just totally derailed by the run course map, because head out, you do U-turn on Margaret Street. So maybe you come out, you do. All right, follow with me. This is why you should look at the maps and look at everything before you go out there and actually do the race to know what you're doing. So it appears when you first start off, you're going to be heading to the start line area, which is a nice big T. So you hit mile 1, do U-turn, come around, do all this, go through, do the loop, come back. looks like you do a U-turn and then go back out and then come back out and then go to the finish line. So it's going to be interesting. So you're going to see your athlete come into transition, and you're going to see them come by to start their second loop, and then you're going to see them come by again to do a U-turn for their next loop. So it's kind of a two-loop figure eight type of weird. I've never seen this type of course. It's kind of interesting. So it looks like you'll have T1 or T2 to see them. They come back, pass by, they come back for the U-turn. So once they do that U-turn, you've seen them 3 times. So I think this is a good time to probably start walking over, because if you wait until they pass you again, they're going to outrun you to the finish line more than likely, unless you got a bike or something like that. If you got a bicycle or a way to get over there quickly, maybe you have an opportunity to see them here and then bike over and see the finish line. But if you don't have a bike, you're just walking, definitely after they do this U-turn to come on and start their last lap, I would start walking over towards the finish line, because if you wait too long, you could be in a situation where you're not going to see them at the finish line. So I think that's going to be the big key is, if you really wanted to, you could park and hang out around the transition area pretty much all day and see your athlete swim start, swim exit, T2, the first loop, turn around. So that's 5 times that you'll see your athlete out on the course. And when they come back, you see them at the transition. So that's 6 times that you can see them on the course, and that's just hanging out here at the transition area. So you could go out and see them later on the course or something like that if you want to go out and support them. It's definitely, you can go out and drive around, but I think you're going to have a little bit of a situation. You just got to be careful. When you're going out here, this looks like you got the trail system, so it probably will keep this road open, but they hit them out on this Florence Avenue. So it looks like you got a situation here. They're going to close probably down this road here. So once you get over here, it's going to be kind of a hodgepodge to get over here to see them on the course. So overall, that's, especially at a 70.3 distance, you really probably will not get the best bang for your buck trying to go and chase your athletes around the course. So I definitely recommend spectators hanging out around transition. If you look, there's a A&W restaurant, there's some gas stations, there's all kinds. There's a supermarket. Look down here, library if you want to. Dingy's Restaurant and Bar, pizza place. Looks like there's plenty of opportunities that while your athlete is out on the bike, you can go around and get something to eat. You can relax and then check up on the athlete tracker and then come back in transition, catch them when they get off their bike and start their run, and cheer them on for the run, and then have enough time to walk over to the finish line and catch them at the finish line. So ultimately, if it was a full Ironman, it'd be a little bit different. When you're out there for 112 miles, you can drive around and see them, and it's easier to get back to wherever transition is to see them come off the bike. But I think as far as an athlete goes, the key important aspects are seeing you go in the water, start the race, come out of the water, come off the bike, start the run, and then at different points on the run. And like I said, you look at that run course, that you start there, you pass there, you do a U-turn there, and it's all kind of around the transition area. So I would definitely go and stake out where the U-turns are and all this other stuff, just to make sure you're prepared. That's going to be the highlight. I definitely, there's stuff around here. I think later in the day, some of the stuff will open up, but, I definitely pack some snacks, pack a drink. If your athlete's going to be out there for a while, there's plenty of opportunities to go out here, and once they start their second loop or whatever, you can go over here and grab a snack or whatever, start heading to the finish line or something like that. I think there's plenty. It looks like there's plenty of opportunities right here in this little area to make sure that if you need food, you need snacks, you need water, anything like that, you're not kind of trapped. You can walk around and walk to it. Some places are a little bit more remote, so it's not as convenient to go someplace and get some stuff if you need it. But I think this has great opportunities. I think just make sure that you check where you're parking, where your athletes are parking, where spectators can park on race day, just to make sure that, if I was a betting man, transition's going to be in this little parking lot, and they're going to allow their park people over in this open field. I could be wrong. They may not want you going in there trashing this open space park by parking on it. They may park in other places. They may tell you to just, I would not park in the supermarket. Don't park here, because they'll tell you they don't like that kind of stuff. Must be, good stewards of the environment or the race atmosphere and everything, and not parking everybody's parking lots and jam up their business. But it looks like there's other little side roads and stuff. So just make sure you read the athlete guide to find out where you're parking. And I think the main key is give yourself plenty of time to get over from where you're hanging out, transition over the finish line to see your athletes. With that, I mean, that's kind of the nuts and bolts of it. Like I said, make sure your athlete or your spectators are visible, that you're able to pick them out in a crowd, just because things are going to be moving quick and people are going to be yelling and screaming and hollering for you. So it's kind of hard to track down who's hollering for who. Make sure that your spectators and sherpas have the Ironman athlete tracker, because it's gotten pretty accurate. They're putting a lot of different gates throughout the course, so you know where your athletes are at most of the time. And the weather's looking nice, so I don't think it's going to be a nice, t-shirt and cargo shorts type of day for your spectators. Shouldn't be too worn out or anything like that, unless some rain pops up in the forecast, which I haven't seen any yet. But those are the highlights. So if you like this, give it a like. If you're seeing this on Facebook Live, if you see it on YouTube, give it a like. If you don't like it and don't think it's helpful, put in the comments what I can put in here to make it more helpful, because, like I said, I'm doing this for my athletes. I'm doing it for the plans. So basically, I'm not necessarily getting paid for all this stuff, but I just want to help you guys out doing this race. And like I said, the more athletes I have, the more invested I am in these races, the more I kind of go over them and help them out with this kind of stuff. So like it, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Let me know if it's great stuff. With that, happy training out there and good luck on race day. We'll see you out there.